Welcome to Boy Time Podcast. We're gonna get litty time, yeah. Oh, it's your Boy Time Podcast. Coming in with the slam dunk of a theme song.
Hi ho ho, it's me, Zazzy Beats, back at it again with a new episode of the Boy Time Podcast. And as always, I'm joined by Babby and Paul.
Yo.
Paul's death was greatly exaggerated.
Short-lived.
Yeah. Turns out that was fake. He sent me a fake obituary, and I cried about it for 2 days, but it turns out he's alive.
Good. That's what I wanted.
This is called gaslighting, and it is one of the main tells of a toxic relationship. But
Heck yeah.
I've continued to allow him on the podcast because we need the sex appeal. So
Indeed.
that's status update. We actually have a pretty big episode planned. There's a fair amount of news. There's some stuff that has been announced or will be announced shortly, and we also have some discussions we're going to be going today. We got The Wire season 1. We got Atlanta season 3 premiere, the first 2 episodes, and we have the spoiler conversation of The Batman.
Heck yeah, brother.
So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. And I also saw Turning Red this week, so I will briefly be going over that because I enjoyed it. So
Good.
that's the TLDR. But
That's all you need to know.
That pretty much, yeah. So I think we'll start off with Epic Gaming news, everyone's favorite segment. Have you guys heard of a small indie studio called CD Projekt Red?
What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they made a show with the Superman in it.
That's
Whoa.
crazy.
I know, crazy stuff. And speaking of the Superman, Witcher 4, Witcher the next one, is in development. No longer in the Red engine. So they're getting rid of their own engine that they use for all their games. They say, nope, we hate this engine, and they're just going to do it in Unreal 5, which is fair. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of Cyberpunk's issues could have been fixed if they just built it in an engine that worked.
Yes, because The Witcher is also glitchy as hell. Just
Yeah.
people like that game because the story's good. So that seems to be their forte. Not really game development. It's more storytelling. But
Yeah.
we can't all
Which is true
be
with Cyberpunk too, but like
Yeah.
the game just didn't work.
no. We can't all be Naughty Dog and have great story and great gameplay. We
That's
often have to sacrifice one for the other. Usually it's story. So, good on CD Projekt Red for actually trying to tell a good story. It's just they suck at being game developers, which I think now is more apparent. I think that would have been a hot take if I said that around Witcher 3. But now that Cyberpunk has come out, people have kind of taken a look at The Witcher 3 and saw how it's still busted. Like there are still moments of the game where it is super glitchy. And so it's like, yeah, maybe the signs were there the whole time that this was going to be a thing. But, we'll see. I've seen some people get really, really excited about this already when they just released it was a photo of the Witcher medallion thingy. It was in the snow, and it just said the next installment of The Witcher is in development in Unreal 5. That's literally all the news we have, and I'm sure there's already a subreddit about it because, I don't know, the Witcher fans be crazy.
Oh, they do be crazy.
They do be crazy.
I would know.
Yeah,
I'm not one.
You are a very avid Witcher fan. Grant is a very big Witcher fan. I'm not.
And I know that.
I've tried to play The Witcher 3, I believe, 3 times, and every time I get kind of into it, and then it gets too hard too fast, and then I don't care. It also kind
Go
of...
bad at games.
Not a real gamer.
I mean, and I think the story, it's too heady for me.
Oh.
it gets too fantasy and there's too much jargon. And as soon as you introduce any jargon in anything, then I lose interest immediately.
Someone mentions an elf. Ah, man, I'm out of here. Too much
I
jargon.
hate elf.
No, it's not like that. I can handle that. We play D&D. I understand the basics of fantasy.
I don't know. You complained about it a lot in D&D.
I do, but I've gotten used to it. I've gotten better, but there's just too
He's
much.
still recovering.
Plus, it's the third one, and I don't really want to play the first one to get all the lore. So, I don't know. It's fine. I'm not going to be playing the new one. It's like when Rockstar said that Grand Theft Auto 6 is in development. It's like it's a big deal that they're working on it, but like,
We'll talk about this again in 3 years.
yeah, pretty much. Based on their development schedule, it'll probably be 5 years. Although,
Yeah.
I think CD Projekt Red has 2 studios, one working on Witcher and one working on Cyberpunk. I don't believe they intermingle with each other.
No, because
Hopefully.
they're now working in completely different engines. So.
True. Yeah. I know that, like, I think when Cyberpunk was first announced, The Witcher 3 was still in development. So when they originally said that it was going to come out in like 2017, that's when they thought that they had like a whole studio, but then a lot of the people working on Cyberpunk went to work on The Witcher 3, so then it like halted the development for like 3 or 4 years, and then it finally came out and it was still busted. So I don't know. I don't know if they've learned from their mistakes at all, but I guess we'll see. But that's that. We have another little bit of news, an announcement that is going to be made, probably. We got some, I don't know if they're leaks, but there's apparently going to be a PlayStation announcement this week about the PlayStation Game Pass. That's not what they're calling it. It's still called Spartacus, based on reports that I've seen. So that's unfortunate. I don't know if that's the what they're going to end up calling it.
They're not going to launch it as that name. It's going to be
PlayStation Spartacus.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
With their branding.
It would have made more sense if it was like Valhalla, because at least then they have one.
Even then, it doesn't fit with the Sony language.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But God of War isn't in Greece anymore.
True.
So, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be announced sometime this week. We do have a little bit more details on it. It is going to be combining PlayStation Now and PlayStation Plus with multiple tiers. I guess Game Pass does have this. They have their Game Pass regular, then they have Game Pass Ultimate, which lets you stream games and play them on your phone. I believe that's what the Ultimate adds. And I think that's what they're going for here. I've seen some people say that the highest tier is going to let you stream games, and that's also how you're going to be getting PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 titles. But that's just random people on Twitter saying that, so I don't think that's true. But it looks like that, like the most expensive tier, according to more reputable sources, will allow you to stream games, which is what you can already do with PlayStation Now. But it also gives you access to demos of new and upcoming PlayStation games, which I won't be paying for, but I guess it is a nice thing for those who care about it. So hopefully that's true and that we are going to be getting an announcement, because I would like to play Red Dead Redemption and the first God of War games. So I guess we'll see. I'll keep you posted. But that's actually it for gaming news. Just announcements of things that might happen. So I think we'll go into, I guess, show news. Might as well. It's the only other bit of news I have. As if the next couple of months weren't already slam-packed. J.G. Quintel announced that Close Enough Season 3 is coming out April 7th.
Let's go.
So I think that's Not this Thursday, but the next Thursday.
Next one, yeah.
So we got Atlanta coming out right now. We'll have Close Enough, and then Barry and Saul, all in the same, like within 3
Wire's
weeks.
about to take a back seat.
Pretty much, yeah. But I mean, we're gonna be only watching these once a week.
Yeah,
I
but it's still
imagine.
like once all of them are out, it's gonna be taking up a few days.
Yeah.
Week, so.
Well, I'm wondering if like maybe we wait for Barry, because I think I can wait till all the episodes are out for Barry.
Yeah, Barry. Yeah, we can do that.
It'll
I'll have to
be
record it on TV. So
yeah. We'll have to figure that out. But
Yeah.
I want to see Saul as it's coming out, because I know idiots online are going to spoil it for me immediately. So I would like to see that. And Atlanta, you know, we're
We're doing
already
that,
watching it.
so.
It's really good. So that's it. That's it for news. But do we want to talk about Atlanta season 3?
Sure,
We can do that.
I want to talk about the first episode. I don't need to talk about the second episode.
You have
Just go
nothing to say
first.
about the second episode?
I mean, it's good, but like, there's not a lot to build off of yet.
Yes.
It's a pretty sick episode, but
It's yeah, I think most people are talking about the first episode.
yeah.
Because I didn't know this. This is it's based on a true story.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they're called the Hart family.
Yep.
So I guess the story is that it's this.
Spoilers for episode 1, you idiots.
Oh, yeah. I guess. Well, I was gonna go
Come on,
into the
man.
real story before we.
That's still
jump in.
going to spoil the
Yes, it
episode.
is. It is. But I mean, you can look it up. It's a real thing that happened. But I guess it actually kind of downplays it in Atlanta, because I believe the real family had like 5 or 6 kids, where in the Atlanta episode there's only 4, before Loquacious joins. That's his name, right? Loquacious?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess it was a lesbian couple. They adopt all these kids. They're all people like of color. I don't know if that's like, I guess that's important. It's an important aspect of it.
That is incredibly important.
Yes. And they abuse the kids. That there's a photo of one of the kids wearing a fedora hugging a police officer crying, which is straight into the show. That's a moment that happens in the show. Until I guess, I don't know the auspices of like why they decided to drive off a bridge with all the kids in the van, but they did that. But that's not what happens in the show. So I guess we'll get into what happens in the season 1 premiere, because it's a lot to unpack. Because like the first 2 or 3 minutes is just 2 dudes fishing, and it's like straight out of like a Jordan Peele movie, where it's like race-based horror, where it's a white guy and a black guy fishing on a boat, and then the white guy is telling this like ghost story, I guess, of this free black town that lived in the bottom of this like valley, and then the state government dams a river and then forces the town to be flooded. So he's like, this here river is haunted by a bunch of almost white black folk, and then a bunch of spooky stuff happens. And then that's when we start getting into the Loquacious arc, which is the majority of the episode, of this kid gets in trouble in class, and then his mom and his grandfather are called down to the office, and then it's his grandfather slaps him 3 times, and I think the episode's called 3 Slaps, if I'm remembering correctly. So then that's like when CPS gets called. So they see the grandfather slapping the kid, and they're like, oh, this is a big issue. And then CPS does a home inspection, and then the mom freaks out and throws all his stuff out of the house. And it's like, you don't want to live here, then get out. And then Loquacious is placed in the, I guess, I don't know what their names are, but it's the Hart family for the real thing. And we see them feeding them like uncooked chicken and like, I don't know, it was like Brussels sprouts, I think.
No, it was avocado.
Avocado, that's right. She was saying something about sprouts or
It was capers.
capers. Yeah. I don't know. You remember this so much better than I do. Maybe you should tell the story.
Oh, I was gonna analyze it, not just run through the episode. So whenever you're done.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's basically just running through
Yeah,
the
just
thing.
it's going through the entire segment, but
Yeah,
this is the best episode of Atlanta ever created. So
I would agree.
yeah, right away when it like was over, I'm like, yep. I was like halfway through the episode, I realized like, yep, this is exactly that story from a couple years ago because it felt so familiar.
I didn't
I'm
know
like,
about
why
it.
why am I seeing what's happening before it's happening? I'm like, wait a minute, this is a real story, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it was. So I looked it up today. But yeah, this is the best episode of Atlanta. It he didn't downplay it at all with this story. The whole thing is like this is Ern's like dreaming this, and he's dreaming of the better outcome of this situation that actually happened,
Yeah.
which is really fantastic. But every little nuance of this episode was like so well thought out. And I understand the Donald Glover tweets now because I feel like if I created something that good, I would have to hit myself up on Twitter about it. Like I got to tell somebody about this.
I think he actually addressed that because they were on like a red carpet today, and someone asked him about the tweets, and he was like, "Man, I was just proud of this product. I think we did a really
Yeah,
good
no,
job."
this episode's like, flawless. Like one of the best episodes of TV I've seen.
Yeah.
But every little nuance of the episode, from like how Child Protective Services often doesn't do a good job because all they do is take from a poor black family and give to a poor white family, and like the incredibly like neoliberal lesbian couple who is like more racist than most other people would be around their children, and this gigantic white savior complex,
Yeah.
which is what the real family had too. Is just like this incredible like savior complex about these children, and then continue to abuse them and stuff. So all these like little things, even like getting into the little intricacies of serving avocado and like uncooked chicken, because this rise in like uncooked meat diets and things like in the kombucha and all these like little things that get on my nerves so much about like this modern day quote unquote wokeness that isn't doing anything,
Yeah.
and is actually actively hurting things. And that's just like the secondary plot of the episode. It's not even the main plot of the episode. So it's like every little minute detail that he put into this was so good. And it's like very harsh to watch, but like obviously that's the point. I'm sure this episode called out a lot of people. So I mean it's probably the best one they've made. Everybody talks about the Teddy episode, but
Yeah,
I think
Teddy
this is more
Perkins.
grounded in reality and told more bluntly. But
Yeah.
it was so good.
I think Teddy Perkins is because I just rewatched season 2 like over the last week leading up to this, and I watched Teddy Perkins again. I forgot how good it is because I think about that episode and I was like, oh yeah, it's that weird one where Donald Glover's in whiteface and he's like doing this weird Michael Jackson thing. But it's like, I don't want to keep comparing it to Jordan Peele, but that is like, I could see Jordan Peele making something like that now that he's doing his weirdo horror stuff. And then this one really felt like that again, but it was more grounded than what Jordan Peele does. He usually has a supernatural element attached.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know anything about the real story before. I really haven't looked too much into it after. But I saw like a bunch of pictures of the real family, and I was like, oh frick, Like,
Yeah, I knew it like about halfway through the episode. I'm like, oh, this is what he's doing. Okay.
yeah, it's like even like the free hug sign, like that's like,
Yep.
and him like
They're on
like the kid was like
every
crying,
TV.
and it's like so crazy that he was able to do this. I think the only like bit of criticism I have to the episode is I don't exactly know how it ties into the show at large. Like it's a great one-off thing.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, which
This
is
was a
fine.
message that he's been saving for years, and what better place to put it at than your premiere episode?
Yeah, I suppose. But I guess we'll kind of transition into also the second episode, because I'm a little bit disappointed in how the second episode played, mainly because this second episode we basically cut like a couple years. I don't know if it's supposed to be like in real time, so like how it's taken 4 years in between season 2 and season 3. I don't know if this is supposed to be 4 years in the future, but there were a lot of things established in the finale of season 2 to kind of be like cliffhangers, and since we're doing this time jump thing, all of those things are irrelevant and it doesn't necessarily matter. So like the golden gun in the luggage was kind of set up to be like this thing where it's like, what's gonna happen, and that is irrelevant. It was up in the air whether or not Ern was going to be his manager, because in the episode where they go to the frat house and there's like a bunch of naked people tied up, Al is like, I have been talking to this other person's manager and he got me hooked up on this Euro tour. But by the time season 3 comes around, then Ern is the manager and he seems to be doing a pretty good job. So there's a lot of like stuff in between where it's like, okay, I would have liked to see this elaborated a little bit more, but also there's a whole season. So we could
Yeah, that's what I
be
was gonna say.
getting
It's
some
like
stuff
yeah.
coming back, but I don't know. I've been waiting for years to get these plot points resolved, and I mean I liked the second episode. Some of the Tupac stuff was weird, and I have no idea what any of that
That
meant.
was really funny.
It was funny. It was just not what I expected at all. But it's interesting to see Val kind of become her own character, because in seasons 1 and 2 she has her standout episode in season 2 where she goes to Drake's party and Drake's not there. Classic episode, but other than that she's seen as basically just the romantic lead. But this time she's Darius's sidekick, which is an interesting pairing. So I mean, anytime you get Darius in a shot, it's amazing. He's one of the best characters, or if not the best character in the show. He's the best character in the show. But yeah, I'm very excited. I think after this they're going back to 1 episode a week. I don't remember what Always Sunny was. I think that might have been 2.
It was 2 a week, I think.
Based on the like they have like the episode names out and then their release dates, and then there's just one name per date. So I'm gonna assume that there's gonna be 1 a week. I don't know. So I guess I don't know if we're gonna talk about every episode.
Talk about it every week, yeah.
But
I'll just wait.
Yeah.
But I mean, second episode's very good. So
it was good. It was a good
I
lead
missed the
into
show.
the setting.
Yeah.
It was funny when Al was in jail, and like because they're in Amsterdam.
That's so accurate.
And they were like taking his order, and then they're like, "Oh, do I need to adjust the thermostat for you?" And it looked like a really nice like hotel room. It's like
that's how it actually is too.
I know that's how it is. It was just funny to see that. So because especially
I love his style of this weird kind of like psychedelic, otherworldly, like very grounded storytelling. But there's just like weird things like the freaking Ern being sick the whole episode. all these little things that are like, why is he writing that in like that? And then it resolves itself, and it's very cool. Everything's a little bit like off.
Yes. Which I don't know. Is the blackface thing? Is that like a real thing?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think it's heightened to the point where they did at the concert. At least I
Yeah.
don't
Where like
think it is.
everybody's in blackface.
But I mean, even something like is like oh that's crazy or that's wild. But I mean, a lot of rappers feel that way when they're going to festivals to a majority white audience singing their songs back at them
Yeah.
that have the N word in them. I'm like, wow, that's a really like cool comparison to do that. Especially in Europe where the N word doesn't hold weight.
No, not at all.
That happens a lot in European concerts.
Mhm.
But just even like the little small details he's doing is really fantastic.
Yeah. I'm excited for the show. I think this is a really solid start. I've seen some people say that Donald Glover is now the master of surrealism, which
He's definitely up there.
he's
I'm
up there right now.
very impressed with his stuff so far. I love surrealist stuff, so this is right up my alley.
We'll have to see if season 3 continues with that, because I think season 1 of Atlanta's a little bit rocky. It has its highs, but there are some dud episodes. Season 2 is a little bit more consistent, but like there was an episode that I skipped. Oh, it was the one where they go to the white party, where Donald
like that
Glover's
episode quite a
album
bit.
wasn't. I mean, like I liked it, but I was like, I don't need to see this again. I get it. I know.
Yeah, I think the surrealist is built into his storyboarding now, just because like episode 2 didn't need any of that, but
No.
it's those little touches he put in. So hopefully that continues as he's going, because it's not like enough to distract, but it's like a very interesting way to just keep things moving.
Yeah, and well, I mean, there's even some stuff with the Tupac stuff where like everyone's in all white. And
Yeah, exactly.
There's like that weird. It does kind of remind me of Twin Peaks, like in the
Yeah.
red room where everyone
Yeah.
looks the same and nobody's talking backwards, but like
No,
they're
but,
all.
like, I mean, David Lynch is very upfront about it. This like
Yeah.
this one's a little bit more off-putting because all the people are just okay with it. But there's like
Yeah.
no like weirdness to it.
Yeah,
Like this is normal.
yeah, it was. This is the surrealism that I can get into because it's a little bit more grounded, and
Yeah.
I can tell what is happening. David Lynch stuff tends to get a little bit heady, which I found out
Just a little bit.
just a little bit. But I found out that David Lynch doesn't finish his scripts when he starts shooting. So he actually shoots chronologically for the most part, and he just like writes the script as they're shooting the show or the movie or whatever.
That's interesting.
I have no idea how he does that.
Well, for Twin Peaks, he had the major theme and message
Yeah.
done, but I think he used like that as like his leading point, and then wrote as he went.
And I don't know. That could have been. This was specifically for, I believe, Mulholland Drive, and then the one that
Okay.
came out before that. So I don't know if he does that for Twin Peaks, where you would need to have that a little bit more structure. But for a movie, you still need that. I don't know how he does that. But
I could see that though. As a creative, sometimes you'll have an idea and you'll just be messing around with it for a while, and then all of a sudden something new will pop up that'll like you'll like better. So it's better to have that free form line of communication and like a concept growing rather than being like, this is how we need to get to this end point.
yeah,
So I could see that.
I can see it. I have no idea how he did it.
Yeah,
After
it's just
watching
really
Mulholland Drive, there are like moments where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, he had no idea where this is going. So I guess that was a little bit enlightening. But speaking of enlightening, let's talk about The Wire season 1.
These are
One of the best shows ever made, The Wire. We watched the first season. Was it the best season of television that you've ever seen?
no, but it was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll look back and think differently once we're done with the show. But
Yeah,
I think I still really liked it.
I did too.
I don't know why I love the way vintage TV feels, and it's not even that vintage. I just love the way that older style, analog style feels.
Where it's like shot
Because
on
everything
film.
nowadays is so incredibly high production, and everything looks like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I like this kind of feel.
Where there's still like high production, but it
But
isn't
it's not
like,
done like
Yeah.
shot wise and everything. It's very
No, it's
different.
not very cinematic. It's really just
No.
shot, reverse shot.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Twin
Yeah.
Peaks had that same kind of thing where I'm like,
Yeah.
I really dig just like the style of how everything's laid out.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't have like a whole lot to say about The Wire season 1. It was really good. I enjoyed it. Great performances all around. I thought the story was pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the consensus, like if it gets better as it goes, or if there's any like weird off seasons where, oh, that one's not as good as season 5 or 3. But
I wouldn't think so since people call it the best TV show of all time, but you never know.
people say that, but I don't know. Like even Breaking Bad, a show that I love a lot. I think the last season is a little bit rocky, but some of that is that for seasons 3 and 4 you had Gus as the main dealer, and Gus is one of the most interesting characters.
Yeah,
one of the
Gus
best
is up there.
performances I've ever seen. And then you have that followed up with the white supremacist Nazi guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's not interesting, really. I know what Nazis are about. I don't know what makes Gus tick.
But I
Like-
love Todd.
I do love Todd. Todd, I do love him. Jesse Plemons is the cutest
He really
man
is.
ever. But he's not in The Wire season 1. Michael B. Jordan is in The Wire season 1. Spoiler alert. He's not going to be in the rest of the show. I feel like we can. I feel like we can talk about the spoilers of this show.
Yeah,
because it's
how many years
20
old?
years old.
20 years old, yeah.
This season came out in 2002.
Okay.
So, and they mentioned 9/11 a lot, and it was like January of 2002. So they must have written that really fast. Except, I noticed that they call it 911.
Yes.
So,
How sneaky.
well, I don't know if they were trying to be sneaky. My guess is that's what people were calling it back
That might
then.
have been.
I don't know. I wasn't cognizant.
I was
a
yeah. I
baby.
was on Earth. I just wasn't.
Yeah, I was not aware of the lingo of terrorist attacks yet. Unfortunately, my parents probably did a bad job gearing me up if I didn't know that they called it 911 before they called it 9/11.
If your first words were 9/11, are you really an American?
No.
Good answer.
But yeah, I think only thing I'm a little bit curious about is how they're gonna go about the main antagonist, because Avon Barksdale, he's in jail, and he was kind of the big bad guy that the whole show was kind of gearing to take down, and now he's in jail. You got Idris Elba still being the bad guy, so I guess we're gonna be going after Stringer Bell. But Avon Barksdale, I don't know. He was such a cool guy. I loved Avon
I loved his
Barksdale.
character.
He was just very paranoid, and he liked. I forgot what he got from Weebay. It was like, I don't know. I don't really know much about his character because he's hardly in it. But maybe that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing to have your antagonist hardly be
Yeah, I
in
like
the
that.
show. It's kind of like how Bill isn't in Kill Bill Volume 1, and he's like only at the very end of Kill Bill Volume 2. That's probably just because David Carradine was too busy doing autoerotic asphyxiation in his trailer.
That's the reason.
That's probably the reason
Yeah.
he wasn't in Kill Bill 1. Can I make that joke? We'll have to
I don't
cut
know.
that. Because that's how
I
he
think we
died.
could.
He died
Yeah.
doing autoerotic asphyxiation. Probably the worst
Unlucky.
way to go for a celebrity.
Or the best way to go.
It might be the
I
best
feel like
way
this
to
was a
go.
BoJack conundrum because I feel like the whole episode was them talking about whether it's the worst way or the best way to go.
That's true. I don't know.
We could ask him.
That's true. I feel like it might be the worst way to go if you're a celebrity, but the best way to go if you're anyone
True.
else. Because
Yeah,
if
that's
you're
a
a
good point.
celebrity, I will forever remember David Carradine as the guy that died jacking off.
Yeah.
Not as Kill Bill or in the Kung Fu show or Karate show. I think it was just called Kung Fu. I don't know.
That's
I
a good
don't
point. I think
care.
that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you
I
know,
agree with that.
if the manager at my local gas station died doing autoerotic asphyxiation, I'm not going to remember him as the guy.
Be like
I
baller.
yeah, I'd be
Legend.
like, okay.
Stunning. Brave.
At least he knew how to have a good
A
time.
brave soul.
Exactly.
We're very off topic. But, you know, I don't know. There's not a whole lot to dig into right now.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things where I'm kind of following along and watching. I don't have too many observations. It's just a really good TV show.
Yeah. It's good. So we'll see. McNulty's going to be on a boat now. That's kind of fun.
That's crazy.
I do like boat-centered dramas.
There's
Love
a lot of 'em.
Boat. Dexter had a boat that he would throw bodies off of.
That's cool.
Zach and Cody had a boat.
I think their
For a
whole
while
show was
there.
on a boat.
Yeah, that's true. So I guess those three are good examples. Unfortunately, Saul's never been on a boat
Until this season.
until this season, where they bought Bob Odenkirk a yacht because he had a heart attack.
boat.
Kim, we gotta buy a yacht. Yeah.
Lalo told me you gotta buy a boat.
Yeah, this season is gonna be awesome.
It's gonna slap.
Kim is gonna have all of her feet out. It's gonna be awesome.
There's gonna be a beach episode where everybody's just in their bikinis.
That would be pretty fun.
It's gonna be
I would
so
love
fun.
to see Gus in a bikini.
That'd be so cool. He's a speedo kind of guy.
He, for sure, he's a Speedo kind of guy. Mike is the guy who goes swimming completely clothed.
Yeah, he wears like a tank top and
Yeah.
like regular shorts.
Like the absolute chatty is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know. So we'll talk about The Wire as it keeps getting better. But this is a pretty good base, I think.
Really good start.
Yeah. I mean, it's like with Breaking Bad. You don't have a whole lot to go off on the first season. But once it gets going, it gets going. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of having a rocky start and then picking up a little bit later, let's talk about the Batman. That doesn't have to do with the...
Man.
I was gonna say,
the
like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I like the beginning of the Batman. Although it has been a couple weeks since I've seen it, so you're a little bit
It's
fresher.
been a couple hours since I've seen it, so
Okay, good.
I feel a little bit more fresh. But visited my good friend Greg Marcus.
Oh, good. Did he have any
I got
nice
the
words?
freaking the extra theater, like the
Oh, did ya?
gigantic screen and the recliners and stuff.
I did too. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It was kind of creepy with the audio because it's like they have speakers all around the theater in that one. So it's like when like the phone would ring or something, it sounded like it was the person next to you, but it's a little off.
Mine was not like that, but that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I got like the deluxe theater.
Oh, snap.
But yeah, it's a very long movie, but
Yes.
I think the length is warranted. There was no point where I was like, okay, can we hurry this up or whatever. I think it took its time when it needed to.
Yeah.
But I guess spoilers for Batman.
Yes, this whole episode is full of spoilers.
Yeah, this whole episode's a spoiler, so
Sorry.
skip if you're not into that
Sick.
kind of thing.
You
Yeah.
haven't been to the Batman show yet.
I did love Robert Pattinson as Batman. I think he fits very well.
I did too.
And I think he's a very good Bruce Wayne too. I feel like Bruce Wayne being like this kind of playboy figure is kind of weird, considering Batman is the opposite of that. So I like how he's just the edgy, quiet dude like all the time.
Listening to Nirvana.
Yeah. It's really cool that they use that song, by the way. That's not the song I would think they would use, but it fits so well.
It really does.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know that song's been blowing up again on TikTok because Zoomers didn't know about it, but I don't know how you use that on TikTok, but apparently people are
I
finding
don't
a way
know.
to use it.
People did a lot of weird things with TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I don't know. I like this this new kind of wave of superhero things being more involved in like the politics
Yeah.
and like social crises of cities rather than just like, oh, big bad purple man, let's go kill him and not care about anything else.
Well, I mean,
It-
the Purple Man was the best Marvel supervillain in a long time.
But it still lacked a lot of like stuff that I like.
Okay.
It felt like a classic superhero movie, which is fine, but I like this stuff more. where there's more of like a through line in how everything affects everything, and it's more complicated than just like let's go beat up the bad guy.
Right.
And I also love the puzzles. I love having the movie being like a 3-hour escape room. It's really cool.
It was, yeah, very
Yeah.
impressed with every like the Riddler stuff, except at the end, which I don't know. How do you feel about the interrogation scene?
I think it was okay. I mean, it's not gonna top like the freaking Joker Batman one.
Yeah.
That's like top notch, just film in general. I think it was okay. I liked the Riddler and how they made his character because it was a lot more realistic.
Yeah.
Because like anybody that's doing that is gonna be like a 4chan like dweeb basement dweller neat.
Yeah.
So I think that was pretty cool.
I
I also
think-
like that Batman is the same way, where he's just like a complete neat. He just lives in his cave all day.
Yeah, like people
every day.
don't like
People don't know.
they don't know who
and
Bruce
don't really
Wayne
like
is.
him either.
No.
But
yeah.
I think it was an okay interrogation scene. I think it was drawn out a little bit too much. It felt a little bit too like rigid, if that makes sense. The dialogue wasn't like there wasn't a lot of like fear between the two
Yeah.
happening. He was just kind of like, "Oh my God, you're Batman," and then he's like,
Mm-hmm.
for like a little bit, and then it was over.
Yes. I did like. Okay, so I think the consensus is either you absolutely love the scene and you think it's one of the best Batman scenes ever, or you're just kind of on it. I think I fall into the category.
I think it passes well. I just don't think it's up and above what it could have been.
Yes. Well, I think it's difficult because the Dark Knight interrogation scene is so iconic,
so good.
and it kind of transcends superhero movies. But I think my main issue with it is Paul Dano's portrayal as the Riddler, and this could be a little bit of his direction on it too, because Paul Dano's a very talented actor. But I think the Riddler throughout the entire movie is shown to be very, like, I wouldn't say like he's calm, because like in his videos he tends to get like very fiery, but for like the mental like fortitude you would need to like set up all of these puzzles and have like be so elaborate, like you kind of need to be like there and like pensive and calm and collected, and like you need to, I don't know if I'm exactly wording this right, but as soon as like Batman like doesn't follow his plan exactly to a T, like the Riddler just starts screaming and like crying about it. And it's like,
Well,
this
I
is
think
not
it fits really
intimidating at
well
all.
because of the character. Because he's not an intimidating character. He's a freaking
No.
like extremist on like a criminally online person.
Yeah.
So if those extremely online extremist people go out and meet any kind of criticism, that's going to be the reaction they have.
I suppose that is true. That is
I felt like that's how I took it, and I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. Like, I thought of every like crazy like white supremacist shooter or anything. They literally break like a stick
Yeah.
in every single interrogation. So I felt like it worked. I just think the scene was a little awkward because of that, but it's also
Yeah.
because he's an awkward character.
Yes.
But I don't know if there's a way to really do it better because he doesn't have the charisma of the Joker or anything.
No, there isn't that dynamic.
Yeah, and this Batman doesn't talk very much, so it's like, what are
No.
you gonna do?
And I think it's fine. Like I don't know. I think just that portrayal, like, and this isn't like, maybe this is me just being a general Batman fan, and so I know, like,
I'm an extreme casual.
yes.
Like
So-
I just watch zero superhero movies besides Spider-Man and Batman. So
I'm pretty much in the same boat. I think I'm gonna go see this new Doctor Strange one just because I like Sam Raimi so much.
do you hate Benedict Cumberbatch?
I do hate Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't hate him, but he's just horribly miscast. All the time. There's a very specific niche that Benedict Cumberbatch works in, and that's him as like the nerdy outcast, where he's like really pensive and like him as Sherlock. That's a perfect Benedict
Yeah, straight
Cumberbatch
man.
role.
Yeah.
Like where he's a little bit weird, but like he's very smart, and so a lot of people respect him for that. But he's not the quirky, quippy Doctor Strange. You know what I'm saying? Like that is not who you cast for Doctor
I mean, I
Strange.
don't have an issue with him, but I also don't care enough to.
Okay, okay. I know I am in the minority here, hating on Benedict Cumberbatch. But what did you think of the reveal of the Joker's trick at the end of the movie?
I thought it was smart. I mean, I kind of knew it was coming because of the, the
Yeah,
things.
you did get it spoiled, unfortunately.
But I also kind of like where are they going to go for the next movie? You got to go out. The second movie in your trilogy is the most important. So I'm like, they're going to go Joker. It's like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I think for me, it was like more of a surprise of like who they're having be the Joker.
Yeah, it's
But
like some nobody.
yeah, which I like. I think I'm gonna like the portrayal. I think this movie seems very grounded in like modern day stuff. So it's like not picking like the really hot slim dude with the perfect jawline to play
No.
the Joker for some reason. It's gonna be like these more hardened like normal people. But I think that's why I like Batman and Spider-Man more. Is it's like this is like inner city stuff where a lot of it is like societal issues. And villains aren't villains just to be evil. They're villains because of the environment and
Right.
like distrust and all these things that the community or the city has like beaten them down into.
You know why Doc Ock wants to blow up Manhattan.
Right.
You
And you
yeah.
know why the Riddler is
Is
going after, Bruce Wayne and all these things. So
yes. And now have you seen the Joker deleted scene?
I was gonna watch it. I forgot to. I'm gonna watch it tonight probably.
There's this line that he says that I think is I don't know. I actually don't know why they cut this from the movie. Like I don't know when
Yeah, it
when
feels
it
weird
would
to
have.
cut it. Since they revealed him in the movie, so it's weird that they
Maybe they just
cut
thought
it.
that was enough. They were like, we don't want to give him too much
Maybe.
in the movie, but
They could have made a post credit scene.
it would have. Yeah, there isn't a post credit scene. But it's a 5 minute long scene with the Batman and the Joker, and like for the majority of the scene, like the Joker isn't in focus, and it's just like you can barely see him, but he looks so like mangled and distorted. It's like it's really freaky how they're portraying him.
Yeah, I think the second movie's gonna bang.
I think so too. But there's this, I think it's like, it might be like Joker's closing line, but he's like, there's a part of you that is like holding back in your investigation because it's like you're usually one step ahead of everything, and it feels like that you're like 3 steps behind the Riddler. Could it be that you think that these people deserved it? And then like he starts laughing, and I'm like, that makes like so much sense
Oh
in
yeah,
the
I was definitely
story.
getting that, like with the story of this movie,
Yeah.
and I liked it a lot. I think that's one point that this movie does better than like The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Is he really goes into like, because Batman is a billionaire's son, and it's all these like billionaires and corrupt politicians. This whole movie's after, and I started thinking like halfway through, I'm like, you come from that family, and then they made that a main point for that, like that
Yeah.
that second half, which was really great. And that kind of like internalized conflict that plays out, I thought was really cool.
It's like you're a billionaire beating up poor people. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was really good. I liked. I'm not I'm not gonna like soy face over action scenes. I like how they were kind of
They
thinned
were
out,
good. They
spaced
were-
out, and the ones that they did were really good.
Yeah.
But I know I loved all of like the dynamics of the different like pin figures and all these big guys they were taking down and all the puzzles and stuff that were through it. It felt like the Arkham games kind of,
Yeah.
where you're there's kind of just going through the motions and new things pop up and then they go back to that. So it felt really cool.
Yes. I'm a very big fan of the Arkham games. I think this movie's definitely a step in the right direction. Get the dang Ben Affleck Batman out of here. He sucks so bad. And anyone who wants to fight me on that, here's my
Robert
address.
Pattinson's awesome.
Robert Pattinson is probably the best Batman we've
I
gotten
would
so
say so.
far. It absolutely fits the character. I know, like traditionally, he is the Christian Bale playboy, go into all the
It just doesn't
balls.
make
I don't
sense for the
care.
character.
I don't
Yeah.
care. It feels so natural, and the world feels so real and lived in, where it's like, yeah, Bruce Wayne probably would be like that. Like,
Exactly.
yeah. So I guess we'll see. But what did you think? I thought that the second act felt a little bit unfocused, where it kind of took a
I
little bit of a detour with the mob.
Yeah, I enjoyed that as a bit of context, but I think it was a little unfocused for a second because
Yeah.
I think they were trying to squeeze in that bit of context
I think
with
so.
the mob and everything
And
before
how
they
he
did the whole
died.
reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it felt a little unfocused, but I kind of like okay, they have to get this out of the way first before they really continue. But
I think like the issue that I had is I was so in with the Riddler stuff.
yeah,
It's
yeah, I
so
wanted
like
to get back to it.
that first hour is honestly like some of the best Batman stuff we've gotten in a really long time. And then like we take this really long detour where we're talking with Catwoman, and then we're going in the iceberg lounge, and like there's so much stuff with like the Penguin, and it's like, man, the Riddler he's gonna kill people. Like you should be focusing on that. Why are you talking about the mob? The Joker did that in The Dark Knight. He talks to the mob and then he kills them all. It's like
He kills 'em.
that's the mob.
Yeah.
The mob's like the least interesting character in the Batman universe. It's
Yeah.
like, I get that they want to set up Penguin because I'm sure he's gonna be a big player in the
I mean, he
second
played a role in
one.
this movie too.
Yeah.
but-
No, I mean he
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
He did. It wasn't huge, but he was definitely needed to be there and established.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it. I feel like there's maybe a way they could have shortened it, maybe, and then maybe included that Joker scene somewhere or do that. Maybe shave off 10 minutes of the mob stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other than that, I think it flowed really well.
Yeah. No, I mean, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I think it's, just.
I liked it better than Spider-Man.
I think I did too. No, I don't think. I know. Yeah, I enjoyed this better than the new Spider-Man. But I also am into like the dark, edgy stuff.
Yeah,
But
I love
isn't
the dark,
just
like, feel of everything.
yeah. If it isn't edgy for the sake of being edgy, where it's like, yeah,
Yeah,
you have to
that's
have something to say, and this had something to say, which we gotta talk about. We don't usually like to give DC praise around here, but DC has been experimenting way more than Marvel has in the past, like a
Marvel
couple
found their
of
pocket
releases.
and their audience and just ran.
Yeah, they like got some of this could be that Zack Snyder had the family emergency thing, so it kind of like got him out of the picture for a minute, because I think originally Zack Snyder was gonna be like the head of DC, like post
That'd be so
Batman v
bad.
Superman, and then he stepped down, and then Joss Whedon took over, and then Joss Whedon was supposed to get a Batman movie, but then Justice League was really bad, so then they didn't do that. And now they're just kind of in like this weird limbo where the Zack Snyder universe is kind of done, but they're still making like The Flash and Aquaman and stuff that's branching off of that universe, but Zack Snyder's not involved. And
Those looked really bad, by the way.
oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna go see it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The only draw to the Flash movie is that Michael Keaton is coming back as Batman, which is
That's
interesting. I don't know why. I haven't seen the trailer. I'm assuming there's some time travel that's happening because Flash is for some reason the time travel guy.
He goes so fast.
He goes-
travels through time.
He goes so fast he reverses the flow of time. Because
Marvel's doing a multiverse. Let's go. I need to do time travel stuff.
to be fair, I think this was in production before, and the
No,
Flash
yeah.
has always been.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but for some reason the Flash is always the time travel guy. Like
They
there's
needed
not.
something to go off because like the only thing they have is he goes fast.
That's true. So they made him time travel, and they made him eat a lot because his metabolism is so high because he runs very fast. So that's the Flash's things right now. Yeah, and then Aquaman, he used to just be able to talk with fish, but now he can talk with fish, and he's hot and played by Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
But aside from like the stupid DC stuff that's still coming out, like they're like giving their like hugest properties to just like weirdo directors. Like James Gunn was canceled and they gave him the next Suicide Squad movie, like at the peak of everyone being mad at him for making 10-year-old jokes. Then
Classic, by the way.
of course. Some of them were pretty funny, but some of them were not
Yeah, it was
funny
10
at
years
all.
ago.
It was 10 years ago. And then they give like Matt Reeves something, which the Planet of the Apes movies were not commercial successes, but I believe like in retrospect, people like those movies a lot. So and they give this guy who is not known for turning a profit the Batman. So it's like, okay, I guess you're doing something. Oh, and then they give Todd Phillips the Joker, which he just made the Hangover movie. So it's just like, okay, I don't know what you guys are doing.
I like that they're uncomfortable. That's where good art comes from.
Yeah, they're trying stuff, which is, and Marvel, like everything is the same. Like even post Endgame, where everyone kind of was like, okay, I'm done with Marvel now. They're still like, okay, we're just gonna pick up right where we left off, and we're gonna do the same thing, and nothing has changed. Like,
I truly was done with Marvel after that. I've only seen Spider-Man and nothing else.
yeah. I mean, I'll probably go see the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie because I'm a sucker for James Gunn movies.
James Gunn stuff's really great, yeah.
And I'll probably go see the new Thor because I'm also a sucker for Taika Waititi. And I'm a big fan of polyamorous relationships. But that's it. That's it for superhero stuff. Before we go into music stuff, I will give a very, very brief review of Turning Red. Because, believe it or not, it's actually controversial.
For some
What?
odd reason.
Yes.
Controversial movie. What?
It's a controversial Pixar
You can't
movie.
have Asian people in Pixar.
That's not the controversy.
Wouldn't be surprising though.
No, yeah, it wouldn't be surprising.
Well, Disney just did the Raya and the Last Dragon and Mulan. So
Well,
I
that has a
feel
dragon in it, so
Yeah, that's not real.
Mulan doesn't have a dragon in it, actually.
it does in the
Actually,
original.
it does.
It does in the original, but they cut that from the live action one.
That's
I
why it
wonder
sucks.
why.
I don't know. That movie was hot garbage. But yeah, Turning Red, the new Pixar movie by Domi Shi. Yeah, so I saw some stuff before I saw the movie. The controversy is that there's direct bringing up of periods, something that frankly I as a man was very uncomfortable. As soon as the mom said, "I think we have pads around here somewhere," I was quaking.
I ran out of the theater and returned my ticket immediately.
I didn't. It's not in the theater. It's on Disney Plus. So I guess
If it was in the
theoretically,
theater, I ran out of my house.
out of my house. But I thought that the whole movie was gonna be like that because like it seems like it was just gonna be like an allegory for puberty. Like right away when I saw the first trailer, where it was like Turning Red. It's a girl who's like 13. I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's gonna be like a coming of age thing. Which I guess it is, but like when she turns into the panda, her mom thinks that because she says like I'm a big red monster, and then her mom's like, oh no, I know what this is, and so then she starts getting like, Tylenol and I forgot all that she got. I saw this
It's
like
literally just like a bit.
it's a bit.
Or like,
It's
you can't do this.
it's a bit where like she thinks that it's a period, but actually she's turned into a giant panda monster. Who would have thunk it? Which apparently, like, she knew about that the whole time, and that wasn't what. Because she, like, it's a thing in her family where all the females turn into pandas if they get emotional. And
Very
It's like
normal
real
trait.
life.
yeah, just like real life. If you
Called being Italian, sweetie.
I believe they're Chinese.
Yeah, but in real
Same
life
thing.
it happens to Italians. So.
Oh, yeah, they turn into red pandas.
something like that.
I would have thought they would turn into gangsters.
Yeah,
The Italian
it's more of a metaphor.
Okay. But yeah, people were upset about that there was a period joke. And at the very end, I guess spoiler, this isn't really a spoiler, but she's like half panda, half girl. So like she kept the ears and the tail, which
Furry.
people, if I see any freaking Rule 34 of like cat girl thing, like it was pretty much a cat girl.
It's already done.
It's
She's a
already
furry.
done.
It's happening.
It's done. I'm a little bit concerned because she is 13.
That hasn't stopped them before.
That's true. That
They'll
has
just
not
make
stopped
her a
them.
little taller, and they'll
Yeah,
say she's
literally.
like
That's it.
her future self.
This is her grown up. Oh, okay.
Made her like 2 inches taller. She's grown up now.
But she's a cat girl, and then her mom says, "Hey, put that panda away." And then she says, "My panda, my choice." And people were really upset that it was a play on "My Body, My Choice," the popular
Oh no!
pro-choice slogan, and people were really upset.
They're woke.
Yes, people were very angry.
Conservatives and crystal mommies were fuming.
They really were. I have no idea. It was a bit. I have no idea. I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed the movie. It's a turn from, Soul style Pixar where it is not photorealistic. You're not getting all the fancy lighting effects. It kind of feels. No, RTX is off. But it kind of feels like an anime. It's definitely anime inspired, I would say. Like a lot of the facial animations and stuff remind me of anime, which I was a little bit confused of because it's Chinese. I think it's supposed to be. She's Chinese Canadian, and the movie actually takes place in Toronto, which is kind of fun. Because I don't know if I've ever seen a Pixar movie that doesn't take place in the States. Except, I guess, Finding Nemo takes place in Australia.
In the ocean.
In the ocean. And Buzz Lightyear takes place in space.
Yeah.
So, but I guess that's still to come. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It addressed a lot of, like, I guess, coming of age things, which I kind of saw coming, but more specifically like the relationship between mother and daughter, which tends to be rocky, especially when they turn into teenagers, and they start going for independence and rebelling a little bit. So to see that, it's pretty like spot on from what I experienced with my little sister. Maybe to a little bit of a scary extent at times. I still can't see Lady Bird, which is also a movie about that, but it reminds me too much of my little sister when she was going crazy mode. So I don't know. It was a phase, fortunately. But it also kind of talked about like kind of gaining independence from family traditions and kind of like chosen family stuff with friendships, which I am all for. I think that's a great message, especially for kids who may not have the best home life, having the option of being like, hey, your friends can be just as close as your family is. And it's like, that's a good message to tell kids. But people were upset about periods and abortion, which has absolutely nothing to do with
It's just reactionaries that haven't even watched the movie. It's probably just one person posted it in there. He's like, I can't watch this.
Yeah. So I guess if you are anti-abortion, then you cannot watch this movie about a red panda girl.
If you are anti-women, don't watch this movie.
You are.
Basically.
Yeah, that's the message. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Probably the best Pixar movie since Coco, I would say.
Okay.
So very, very good. Highly
I
recommend.
might watch it
I'd recommend it.
eventually.
Yeah. So that's it. That's all I have. Talk about music for 2 hours.
I don't know if I could talk for 2 hours if I wanted to. Seems like a lot of work.
Well, yeah, 30 minutes, and then it would have been a near an hour pod, so or 2 hour pod.
True.
We've only
So
been recording
technically
for
you
an
could-
hour.
Oh,
That's okay.
Okay.
Let's scroll
We
all
started
the
at
way
like
down on my
8:10.
playlist.
Oh God, he said
All the
scroll.
way down. I got way too many songs.
How many
in here now.
pages are
Scrolling.
there?
I don't know. How many songs do I have in here now? I have 365.
Okay.
We'll start with Chance the Rapper. Why not?
Oh,
I talked
wait.
about it last week. It is just a single. It's not the album yet.
Frick.
But it's fine. I feel like I would have rather had a taste before he just dumps it all on me, and then like it's like, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
But Child of God, the single, good. It's good.
Oh, it isn't bad.
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I'm a little bit disappointed.
I wanted it to be the worst thing I've ever heard. But I kind of was expecting this kind of vibe based off of his like freestyles from YouTube for like over the past year. It's like this kind of talk rap, like incredibly introspective type rap. Think Common mixed with like, it's like a more spoken word version of Common, kind of, and Common's already kind of
Yeah.
more spoken word. But he's definitely taking a more like gospel route, which is obvious if you've listened to Chance the Rapper before. I think this is a lot more of a mature gospel-ish sound.
Does he do
so he's
gospel?
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
Okay.
I think that's kind of where he's headed, and I kind of like this palette for him, this kind of gospel-y spoken rap, introspective type stuff. I think it worked pretty well. He had some good bars, nothing too cringy, or nothing cringy at all, I would say. He was very focused. But I think the only complaint is like he stayed too low energy because the beat built, like drums got added, there was choir near the end, but he didn't like do the thing where he would do on Acid Rap or Coloring Book where he would really like heighten his voice because he has a really cool like crescendo to him that I wasn't getting here. But I don't know. If this palette is what he's going for the new album, I could see it being a hit. So that's all I can pray for, because like, you know, this is already better than 95% of the Big Day. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah. So I'm on the Chance comeback bandwagon here.
Okay.
Just because I want to see him do well, because he's too much of a talent to just like have one horrible release and then like not be
And
able to get over it.
disappear. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was pretty good. Not like the best or anything, but like compared to what he's been doing before, this sounds really great. So we'll see what comes of that. I'm sure there'll be an album announcement from him in a month or two, I would think. I don't think he has the kind of clout to drop a single and then disappear for a long time anymore, since people are kind of already on the edge with him.
Yeah.
But
That's true.
Nego. We'll talk about Nego.
Okay.
So Nego isn't an artist, so it's kind of a weird thing. He curated this album, but he is one half of Pharrell's streetwear company, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah. So I mean, him and Pharrell have been together for a long time. I think Human Made is their newest streetwear thing. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Whatever those new NMD Adidas shoes, they're not new at this point, like 3 years old, but
Oh.
pretty sure those two were together with that. But this is like this album like reeks of like 2005, when you can imagine people wearing T-shirts that are 3 times the size and jean shorts that would go down to like their shin.
Yeah.
This sounds so much like that, and it sounds really great. Pharrell's production is really, really. There's such a mood to Pharrell's production. Everything's just super bouncy and like over the top that I love.
Yeah.
But it's a hard hitting track list. It's definitely sounds like someone just curated like all the bangers. It's like a playlist more than an album. But I mean, you got 2 Tyler features, 2 A$AP Rocky features. You have a song with Pusha T, and then you have a song with Clips, which I don't know the last time Clips was on a song. I think the last time Clips was on a song together was on Jesus is King.
Oh.
because I mean, Push has been all over the place, obviously, but No Malice hasn't really been anywhere. So it's nice to see them get back together for this. And it was pretty good track. It definitely more of a throwback to mid 2000s, which is really nice. But they have a Pop Smoke song,
Of course.
which was decent. You know, it didn't feel like they just like took something from the bottom of the bin and threw it on there just to do it. But they put him on a regular beat, and then the next song with Lil Uzi was on a drill beat. So I'm like, why did you put the drill rapper on a normal beat and then put Lil Uzi Vert on a drill beat?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any sense to me. um, but I mean, it wasn't bad. I think Lil Uzi did okay. It's just that I would like to see drill beats be used more effectively. Like, get a 5EO, get a Pop Smoke, get any drill rapper on a drill beat. Don't put Lil Uzi Vert on one. It's just weird.
The
But
problem is that Pop Smoke is dead.
Pop Smoke is dead. Yes, but there's a ton of drill rappers out there. I mean, come on, it's the new thing.
Is that like
Pulling
the
a Drake.
Twitter account?
Drill made drill. Drill rap is it's what 5EO Foreign does. It's like the off the grid beat, like that second half of that beat, that drill beat is basically like starter kit of what that style of music is like. It's
Oh.
street New York, Chicago. It's more of a UK thing actually. It's just started coming over here more. It's very different. It's off kilter. It's very cool. I'm still looking for more artists that are coming up though, because 5EO's album is dropping 2 weeks, I think. So, but I mean, this is a pretty good project. I don't know how much I'll come back to it, but like I'm just taking my standouts out of it and like putting it into another playlist. But especially like the Lost and Found freestyle with Tyler and Rocky feels like super like classic, and it goes hard. Even the closer where Tyler does like an old school like Call Me If You Get Lost mixed with like Wolf era Tyler. It's like kind of more grimy and like sarcastic and funny. That one goes really hard. So interesting album. Since it's not really by an actual artist, it's just like he's like curating it, but it's pretty cool. What was I going to talk about next? I feel like I was going to plug something. Oh, Pusha T did a Arby's diss track this week, or McDonald's diss track this week. That was kind of cool.
Oh, it was a McDonald's diss track?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
because it was
Diet
for
Coke.
Arby's, and he was dissing McDonald's
That's awesome.
for their fish fillets, apparently.
Yeah, there was a backstory, because didn't Pusha T do something for McDonald's?
Yeah, Pusha T made the McDonald's jingle.
That's right. Yeah.
Or helped make it.
It's like
he
him
did,
and another guy.
him for LNGT.
Yeah.
So.
And then they haven't been paying him.
Well, he didn't get royalties for it. I think they
Yeah.
paid him $500,000 up front, and then he didn't really see the rest of it.
That's a scam.
Which is a little bit of a scam, yeah. But I don't think they knew that, because it was originally for a promotion, and then the promotion did so well that they kept it.
Oh.
So I don't think there was renegotiation over like once they were going to use it, which there should have been.
They should
That's
give
usually,
all those
that's usually
boys
how
those
things like that
money.
work when you're carrying things over like that.
They should definitely get paid, because they get
Yeah.
they play that on like every single commercial.
But Pusha T also is getting royalties every time Arby's does a commercial, because the We Have the Meats is Pusha T as well.
Is he just doing every single jingle?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the dude's got earworms like all over the place. But even like the like the dun 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 for like Arby's, like
Yeah.
yeah, he did that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
I love Pusha T because he's like the hardest rapper, and then he just like comes up with a million different like fast food jingles and stuff. And he was like on Hot Ones this week too. He's just doing
Was
this
he?
really weird like press run.
That's good.
But yeah.
That's fun.
It was a funny little like thing where like, you know, he still sounds very mean on a diss track towards a fish fillet sandwich, which is what you can think. And he's fit like 2 cocaine references in there.
Yeah, I saw people talk about that.
Yeah, which was really funny. like how good do you have to be about rapping cocaine? I mean, he's been rapping about cocaine for like 20 plus years, but like he's so good at it to the point where he can just hide 2 things in there through an entire boardroom of people, and nobody would flag it, and it got through. So that was really funny. I'm like, did he really put that in there? But it was like a double entendre too. It was crazy. Like he went way too hard for what he needed to do. His album should be coming soon. I'm very excited for
Well, he
it.
did an EP. I see on the page.
That wasn't him. That was the label. I don't know why the label did this.
Oh, they did a Faker Daker,
They did a fake EP.
but it has Lauryn Hill on it.
Rags to Riches. Yeah, this is a fake EP.
Well, then why is it on his page?
I don't know.
Why are there so many plays?
There's two of them. There's like Raps Villain and then Rags to Riches. Both of these are not like real.
What do you mean they're not real?
Like these aren't official releases by him. These are
Oh.
just like old songs of his put into like EP for some reason.
Oh,
So I
That's
don't know
weird.
what's going on with that. I think I saw something about that this week where like the label did this and then didn't tell them.
why?
It's kind of shady. I don't know what's going on there.
This is Def Jam, though.
It is Def Jam, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this Diet Coke EP is just Diet Coke and then like 2 songs from Daytona, and then one of the most popular songs from his other record. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But his record should be coming soon. Very excited for it. I don't know, Pusha T kick lately. I guess the main event album this week was Denzel Curry.
Yeah.
With Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. I think this is probably his most consistent one. I don't know if I want to say I like it better than Taboo yet. I think it's on par with Taboo, but Taboo's got like such a wide range. This one's definitely more consistent. There's like 0 skips on this thing at all. We just had Benny last week too, and I said that was the rap album of the year. But I think this one's pretty on par, if not better than it.
Okay.
It's just incredibly stacked, like producer list, feature list, everything.
Yeah.
A lot of T-Pab influence. More indirect than direct. I think part of that is having like when you have Thundercat and Robert Glasper and all these people.
Yeah.
But even just laying out introspection, political themes, like current day societal things, and in an album that flows pretty seamless. He takes these things and he uses them very well without being like a copycat or anything.
Yeah.
But people are saying it's like the best rap album of the decade. I'm not going that far yet. That's kind of a little bit too soon, I think. I mean, at least to me,
Yeah.
unless it just hasn't hit me in the face yet. But everything here is incredibly impressive. The production is just next level when you get guys like Robert Glasper, and then you have Walk In, which already has like really great production, and then 2 songs later you got a Peggy beat. It just flows so well. Peggy put a freaking Discord notification sample in the beat.
What a
That's
coward.
Great. He shifted it so it's not the exact same, so it's not like, oh, I got a message, but like it's enough where you can like hey, I know that sound. But I didn't know he was actually going to have Buzzy Lee on it, because Buzzy Lee does a lot of work with Peggy. She does some more like sing-songy stuff when he needs like a good like vocal run.
Oh.
So I mean, you'd probably recognize them. But yeah, it's a really good album. Troubles with T-Pain is awesome. T-Pain kills it.
I love
T-Pain
T-Pain.
Underrated forever. He's a fantastic human.
Is he still underrated? I feel like people
I
know
don't know.
that T-Pain.
I don't know. I just feel like
kinda
people just don't give him enough credit for what he's done.
He's a pioneer.
He's a pioneer, and he still sounded fantastic.
Of course.
Troubles is such a fun song. T-Pain adds to it a lot. Kenny Beats killed that beat. And then Ain't No Way with Black, Rico Nasty, Jid. Oh my God, that's a good song. That's really, really great. I would have liked to hear Black rap on it just because I haven't heard him rap in a while, but I feel like his part fits pretty well here. And Jid's verse was very short, but Rico Nasty killed it.
There's so many people
Denzel's
on it.
So tight on it. Yeah. There's a lot of people on it for a 4.5 minute song.
It says there's 5 people on as
Yeah.
features.
2 of them are doing background vocals, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Or one
okay.
person does like a spoken word thing in the middle.
Oh.
But other than that, it's just like a group chorus where they all kind of do it. But X-Wing is incredibly hard. I don't know, this whole thing is really fantastic. I guess like my least favorite track is probably Zaitoshi with Slow Tie, and that's like a single that I liked. So that's not saying a lot. It just doesn't live up to all the other ones, but that doesn't, it's still a good song. So, yeah, it's probably rap album of the year so far.
No, it's
I
only
feel like I need more
March.
listens to it just because there's a lot of lyrical things that are probably flying over my head just because I was so like taken back by how good the production and like pacing was of it. So
So what you're saying is that this is better than Donda 2.
yeah, Donda 2 is one of the worst things I've heard. So
Okay. I am a little
yeah.
bit disappointed in the album cover. I would have liked to see some of the Japanese stuff carry
Yeah.
over.
So what he's doing for the record is he's putting like a, I don't know if you have any with like that cardboard sleeve over like the left side. He's doing
No.
that and then having like the Japanese and stuff on it.
Oh. Okay.
So the packaging looks pretty cool. I don't know. I like this cover though. I think it fits.
I mean,
But
I
yeah,
haven't listened to
I
it.
do like the single covers.
The single covers are awesome.
Yeah.
Like some of my favorite.
Yeah. I'm hoping he's doing more music videos too, because this whole like style that he's got is like really cool. It's kind of Star Wars Cowboy Bebop. I think he actually references Cowboy Bebop because like obviously it's inspired by it.
Well, he references Star Wars, X-Wing.
And that too. Yeah. So I don't know. The whole thing kind of like plays like a bebop soundtrack kind of. It's really cool.
Yeah.
There's
I'll
like a
probably
lot of
listen
different
to it.
styles.
Should I
Yeah,
listen
it's
to
really
it or should we save it?
You could probably listen to it. I don't know if there'd ever be like a let's do Denzel. But
Okay.
I feel like this one's a good starting point anyways, because Taboo's more of a darker like trap slash almost rock influenced one. And it's like in 3 acts. He's always doing like this conceptual stuff, but this one's the most like Loctite. But yeah, this album is very, very good.
Maybe.
People were saying he's kind of now in the upper echelon. I think he's almost there. I still think Tyler has a kind of like the gate key. He's kind of the one
Yeah,
blocking.
I think he's the
people,
one, right?
because
That-
he's kind of the one that's
he's the
mastered all
up-and-coming
these
guy.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
And then
anyone
Kanye
else.
had it last year with Donda, and then just completely fumbled it with Donda too. So now he's just like he fell off the hill or whatever. So
Yeah, very very short-lived peak.
it was very short lived. He was back for a minute there, and he's like, I can still do this. And then Donda 2 came out. It was just awful.
It's really weird that Donda is sandwiched in between Jesus is King and Donda 2.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, let me make like let me hunker down and make one really good album between like these 2 garbage things. But
Okay.
yeah, so very very good. I feel like there's more releases coming than I am missing right now, but it's I feel like every week kind of has something going on. I guess we'll just wait and see because I don't have them with me right now. But other albums I listened to this week, I'm still holding on Swans. I'm gonna get through these ones that are interesting me first before I like dig deeper.
Okay.
But I did Spiderland by Slint. Very good record. It is very like similar to for the first time, and to the point where it's like it's got the similar track list and everything.
Oh, really?
But it's like for the first time minus the saxophone and plus like 90s alt rock / grunge, since it was made like 91 or whatever,
Oh, okay.
which is pretty cool. It's very not too grungy, but it still has those nice little like harsh moments and then quieter moments. But it is a lot more science fair and a lot less track X. But I don't know. I don't think I like it more than for the first time, just because like Sunglasses is like far better than most things I've heard.
Yeah.
But still very very cool record. Not as disturbed as some of the other albums in this genre, so it's still very listenable and not like too off-putting. And, a little bit of grunge never hurt anybody.
Sure. Why not?
But the other one I listened to is continuing on my Godspeed Black Emperor journey, because I loved the album I listened to before. I wanted to do F sharp, A sharp, Infinity, which is their other one that's like rated super high, from '97. This one's 3 songs and it's an hour. This one I might actually like more than Lift Your Skinny Fists, which I've already bought the record for Lift Your Skinny Fists, and now I'm like, now I gotta buy the other one. But it might just be because like it's more concise, but this one there's like it starts with like antennas. You have to kind of figure out that it's like some post-apocalyptic weird like radio tower 5G craziness as you listen to it. This one's like more. It starts and there's like a cowboy guy like telling you that the world's ending, and then it goes into it, and then like there's some like interesting like interview clips, kind of like the end of Blonde, where they do like that weird thing on Future Free.
Field recording thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they kind of start a song like that. But I don't know, the atmosphere on this one is so good, and I don't understand how any human makes these noises out of guitars and bass. I don't know how many members in the band were like present for this one, because on their like artist page it says they range from like 3 people to 15 people. So I don't know how many people were involved with this, but this one just feels so good. The atmosphere here is insane. Like they're known for their just super long, drawn out crescendos, and there are definitely that in this. But like, I just love minimalism where you stretch out like a chord or like a sound so long, and it just feels right that whole time. But I don't know. Everything makes it's less abstract. It kind of leads you in the direction that they're trying to go for sound wise. The last album felt like, a freaking nuclear bomb went off and now you're walking around like the city that just got nuked and it's just dead air. This one's more like towers are collapsing and things, and it's like very harrowing but still like very pretty. I don't know, it's just these albums are impossibly hard to describe. Like, I think people that review them a lot are like, these are like indescribable sounds and things. But I'm so like drawn to these two albums, so I think these are their main two. I don't know if there's anywhere else to go from here for them. I know they had a new one last year. I could probably check that one out, but I don't know. These two are just incredibly impressive. But I've been on that kick where it's like, give me a 30-minute song.
Yeah, you're doing this experiment that I cannot follow.
Exactly. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'm gonna say this one's better than, or I like it better than Lift Your Skinny Fists for now. It's
Okay.
just drawn to me a little bit more. But that 30-minute closing track is so good. But it's good to have on while working or whatever, because I'm like, I don't want a big focus on like skipping a song from my playlist or whatever. Just like give me a super long drawn out thing.
Oh, yeah. Is it like more ambient?
It's pretty ambient.
Yeah.
Ambient, and then there'll be like guitar lines that come in. It'll build to a crescendo, and then it'll drop off, and it'll change, and it'll go through all these different movements.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where there's only 3 songs, but if you go to like the liner notes, it like breaks each song into like part A, part B, part C, part D. So it's more, I want to call it modern. Like if classical music was a thing today, this would be more accustomed to that in terms of like structure and stuff.
Yeah.
Without being like, too structured like classical music usually is. It literally feels like the world ended and now you're just listening to like dead air, but it's like the most pretty dead air you've ever heard. It's really hard to describe.
Ugh. Well,
Yeah. And for these two, I listen to them at work, so like my volume isn't super high, and I'm on like Apple earpods. So then I'm like really liking it, and then I come home and listen to it at home in good studio headphones. And I'm like, oh my god, this is like brilliant. But yeah, these are really good. So that's where I'm at in my experiment. I don't know. I might take a week off. I might dig into Swans. Who knows? See what I'm feeling.
I don't know. You just tried Swans last week and it didn't work.
No, it didn't. We'll see. But I don't know. I'm kind of loving Godspeed, so I'll see if there's anything else from them that I need to check out. Because I feel like I'm drifting away from post rock now, and now that I'm in this more post rock ambient phase, I'm gonna start digging into more ambient albums. So
You should check out Brian Eno.
I should do some Eno albums so we can give some context about it. I should do that.
Yes, turn on some elevator music or airport music.
Airport music.
Yeah.
There are a couple of ambient albums on my list. I think one's like Earth 2. There's a whole bunch of like weird ambient albums I want to listen to. Like Disintegration Loops, I think that's another one. It was made like post 9/11, like as it was happening. It was really weird.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm a nerd like that. I was even like during Batman, I'm like, this score is banging.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm very into freaking nerdy stuff right now, so we'll see where I go from here.
I mean, the Batman score. I was really impressed with how they incorporated Ave Maria and a bunch of the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was cool. I listened to The Roots.
Which one?
The freaking "Do You Want More?" Question mark, exclamation,
Question mark,
exclamation, exclamation.
exclamation.
It's really good. There's a song with ELO on it that I thought was pretty epic.
They would do that.
Yeah. But I felt like I needed to, put some more respect on these guys' name because I only know them as the Jimmy Fallon Band.
Yeah, and that's incredibly disrespectful. So
Yeah. I mean, Questlove. Wait, I think the Oscars are tonight. I wonder if that one's been announced yet. But my guess is that Questlove is going to win for Best Documentary for Summer of Soul. Let me see if Oscars documentary has been announced yet. But, I know him from that,
yes.
but I don't know the Roots. So I decided it was on, for some reason, Spotify is like, you need to listen to more jazz rap. I said, okay. So I listened to Us Three, Hands on the Torch, and The Roots, Do You Want More? And I thoroughly enjoyed The Roots, and Us Three I was a little bit more on. It was fine, but I don't think, like, when I want jazz rap, you gotta have some, like, really talented rappers on there, which is why I really enjoy Tribe, because Q-Tip is one of the best. But I don't know who raps on The Roots. I know there's, like, 10 members or something.
Black Thought, one
Black
of
Thought.
the best rappers. I would put him in top 5, dead or alive. So
Well, he's very good.
he's incredibly good.
Yes. So, yeah, I don't know. I might add this to the list because I know you haven't listened to it.
Yeah, we can do like Things Fall Apart.
Things
I
fall
think
apart
that's
on the
that's
Roots.
their kind of magnum opus. Even though
Oh.
Do You Want More is probably on par with it.
Okay. Well, they're both a little longer. Well, actually, no.
That's
we can
fine.
we can do Things Fall Apart. It's a little shorter,
An hour 8,
and it has DJ Jazzy Jeff and Mos
Yes.
Def on it.
all over the place. Yeah, in common.
Oh, and Common. Yeah, that sounds good.
Just the thought of Mos Def and Black Thought on the same song is enough to like make me want to listen to it.
Okay,
And you got a song with Erykah Badu and stuff, and Beanie Siegel.
we
Yeah,
can
it's gonna be
do
great.
that. That would be fun.
Yeah.
I'm down for some more jazz rap. Even though I need to add Midnight
Yeah.
Marauder too.
Oh yeah, I do have that Blue album on my wheel.
Oh.
It's very long, but I mean,
The
if you want to check that one out, it's a
Blue-
treat.
Blue.
Blue in Exile. You might have
Yeah.
to look at that.
Oh, not the new one that he did.
The new one's very good too.
Miles.
Yeah, Miles is like one of the best rap albums of last decade, probably, or this decade technically, since it's 2020.
True.
It's just very long, so I had it on our list, but it's an hour like 40.
Maybe we do the new blue one. Is that one shorter?
Or the new blue one is shorter. I think it's like 40 minutes. I think it's just the color blue.
Yeah, I know Fantano really liked that one.
Yeah, that's also very good. Blue's like essential jazz rap, like the pinnacle of jazz rap. He's just very, very good at it.
Okay.
And not a lot of people know him, which is strange. Since
Yeah.
He's just killing it. But we could do Below the Heavens, actually. Yeah, we can put Below the Heavens on there because that's like their breakout, like, classic that I haven't
Okay.
heard yet.
So I'll check out Miles and then we'll add another
Yeah,
thing to the list.
yeah, because Miles is like, it's Miles Davis based off of, so there's a lot more like
Oh, jazz. Yeah.
actual jazz.
Okay. I am down for that.
Yeah,
It is
it's-
20 tracks and an hour and a half long.
It is, but it's near perfect. So
Okay. Okay. I'll have to check that out. Was that it?
I think that's it. I've been listening to Carrie and Lowell live a lot. That's been
The live one.
oh yeah, the live one is next
Is it
level.
is it better than the original?
It's as good as the original, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I just found out there was a Spotify version of it. There's a YouTube movie of it, but this is that recording.
There's
So,
so many.
I didn't
did
realize
these-
there was a streaming version.
There's
of
new
it until
songs. Is Vesuvius a song that?
It's an old song.
Okay.
Same
He-
with Feudal Devices.
He didn't just make new songs for the live version.
No.
Okay.
but this is transcendent.
Okay.
You will float through your roof with this stuff. So
I noticed that Blue Bucket of Gold has an outro that's almost 13 minutes.
it is heavenly, and then it goes into Hotline Bling for some reason.
Is that the Drake cover?
Yes,
Oh,
I feel like you need it because this is incredibly heavy.
okay.
But I mean, I just shut it off after Blue Bucket. I don't listen to Hotline Bling.
I've been.
I imagine if you're going to a Sufjan concert, you've just been like stabbed in the chest 20 times, so then you gotta like end it with Hotline Bling or something.
We gotta go. Has he not? This is so not interesting for the podcast. But is he touring for A Beginner's Mind?
I hope so. I don't think he's said anything, but I would like to see Sufjan live before I die.
I would too.
That's a bucket list.
That would be
item, I
great.
think. But yeah, Carrie and Lowell live is as good as the actual album. So
Okay, I've been listening to Carrie and Lowell like every day, so maybe I should be listening to the live
the
version.
stuff's transcendent, and I like that he does a lot of different versions for the songs and the track. The track list actually works as good, even though it's like mixed up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is next level, transcendent music.
Well, Carrie and Lowell is one of the best albums ever
Oh yeah,
made.
for sure, top 5
Yes.
out of everything,
Out of everything, it's even better than Certified Lover Boy.
and that's saying something.
That's saying a lot. But yeah, I think the only other thing I just saw it, that's kind of funny, is that in the new Lego Star Wars game, the Darth Maul level is called Better Call Maul. I don't know how they're getting away with that.
That is pretty funny. I like that.
So, yeah, I guess that's fun. But that's it.
Nice.
Go watch our Corey Feldman video coming out later today.
Oh no.
I've been trying so hard to make it short, but I'm like on track 14 or 15 and it's 35 minutes long, but we have so much to say. Like I felt weird, like we had so many bits and jokes that I didn't want to cut. So it's
keep all the bits and jokes. We didn't even have to do like in-depth analysis of it. You can cut like the
yeah,
stuff
I
that
cut
just
out
seems
most of
like-
the stuff that's just like it was bad because obviously.
Yeah.
But we just had a good time, so I didn't want to
We had
cut
a
all
really
the
great
fun
time.
stuff.
No. We have very long intros and outros, which is
Yes.
annoying. So it's hard to get videos down. Because we do like a 10-minute outro every time because we have no idea how to end videos
Or podcasts.
or podcasts, as you can see.
Yeah. So
I mean, you could probably cut out 80% of the outro on that video. I
yeah,
think I was just rambling at that point.
yeah, we'll have to see once I get there. But yeah. Lil Nas X is back, and that's kind of fun.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I do like me a Lil Nas X.
Hey, Lil Nas X, if you're listening this far into the podcast, you should come on. It would be really fun to have Lil Nas X on for just no reason.
True.
So I know he would do it too. Except he would not. But, you know, I could see him doing something goofy. And if he wants to be
quirky.
goofy on this podcast, then I would be willing to host Lil Nas X. Even though I have no idea.
He could host us.
He could host us on the new album.
Mm-hmm.
We could do a spoken.
I'll take a writing credit.
We could do a spoken word verse. I wouldn't mind. Wouldn't mind being on a Lil Nas X album. I think I could do pretty good. I don't know if I should send in an audition tape or something. Maybe.
Yeah,
I'll
I think
have
his
to-
Twitter DMs are open. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'll have to send them one. Oh, they are open. How are you gonna have open DMs, Lil Nas X? You are a crazy man.
He is a crazy man. That's why we love him.
That's true. All right. Well, I'm gonna go do a tape. I'm gonna do a little tape. We'll give him my sides, give him my headshot. But I gotta go do all that. So I'm gonna go. Are you okay doing the podcast from here?
No, I'm leaving.
Oh, Paul, can you handle the podcast from here on out? I'm
not even
going to
allowed.
Hollywood. I'm gonna be a star.
Oh, I thought you said you were like leaving, like just to call for a minute and so someone to take over. Probably not. No.
Um, this isn't good. I don't
You
want to
don't know
put
how
my
to edit, first of all.
I don't want to put my dreams on the back burner. So can't you help a brother out and just do the podcast for me? I got a
Oh.
once in a lifetime shot at being on a Lil Nas X album, and you're gonna take that away from me because you don't know how to edit a podcast.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's YouTube tutorials. It's so simple.
He even made me a video on how to do it.
That's true. I did.
The lost tapes.
You know what? If we get to 50 listeners and we can start monetizing this, then I will release the How to Make a Boy Time podcast YouTube video on our YouTube channel. That's my promise. But, I gotta go. So. Peace.